I'm Clara Tallman, and I am a senior at Wellspring. And I remember when I first came to Wellspring, I was in 7th grade, and some of my very best friends from school actually went to Wellspring too. But they had grown up in the church, or at least had been there for a very long time. And right off the bat, I felt like an outcast because they knew all the leaders and I didn't. And I tried to connect to people and I tried to make those friends, but at first I felt like I was the only one putting in the effort. It had been a few months since I had last been to Wellspring when my best friend Anna reached out and asked if I wanted to go to CIY this year. And she was very respectful of my reasons why I might not want to, but she was also very persuasive in this long message. And I figured the church had did their part in planning this awesome trip and funding it, and my friend had did her part in making sure I knew I wouldn't be alone, and now it was my turn to take part and go on the trip. And it was a difficult decision, but I did decide to go. And at first it was really weird and it was scary being back because I hadn't seen these people in so long. And one of the first small group nights at CIY, I remember just looking around and feeling like such an outcast, and it all hit me and I just cried in the middle of the small group session. And I tried to hide it, but obviously I didn't do a very good job because one of the leaders, Devin, actually noticed me. And after small group was over, he motioned me over and asked if I wanted to talk about it. And even though I was sobbing, I was like, you know what? I need to talk to somebody about it, and I did. And it was hard to get it out, but I just kind of said how my friends knew all the leaders and they'd been to their houses and they knew all these inside jokes and I just didn't. And it was hard for me. And he listened, and then he gave some great advice, and then he just prayed for me. And he prayed that I would find a church home where I felt safe and loved and known, and whether that was at Wellspring or at somewhere else. And that part was so important to me. And then I figured, maybe I do need to give Wellspring another shot, but I know I'm gonna have to do some serious work on my part to make some more friendships. So for the rest of CIY, I tried to take every opportunity I could. One of my favorites was we had some free time, just some downtime during one of the CIY days, and one of the leaders messaged on the group chat that they were gonna be in one of the buildings playing games if anyone wanted to join. And I decided to go, and it was so much fun. They had Scrabble and other card games, and it was awesome, and I was able to make connections and friendships and inside jokes of my own with the church. And on one of the last nights of CIY, we were in small group again, and Gabe asked us what our favorite moment from the week was. And I went first, and I decided to share something very personal and vulnerable, and I was just instantly supported by the whole church, and they just comforted me and talked me through it. And it was just this amazing moment that I was like, you know what? Wellspring is my church home. Like, this is it. It gave me what I needed to know to come back. And everyone went around the group and shared their favorite memories, and it got to Devin, and he looked at me and he asked, do you feel like your prayer was answered? And I said yes, and he said then that was it. That was his favorite moment. Out of all of the awesome things at CIY, all the fun games that were played and the awesome sessions and music, his favorite moment was that my prayer to find a church home was answered. And that just meant so much to me. I felt so seen and loved in that moment. And I did decide to come back to Wellspring, and I've been here since that last CIY. And I'm so glad I did, and I'm so thankful to all the leaders who just, did their job and made me feel seen and loved. And it happened exactly when it was supposed to, I believe. And I'm also so thankful to myself for getting out of my comfort zone and making these friendships.